Throughout the history of the Jedi Order, its member Jedi were dedicated in their service to the Galactic Republic, acting as guardians of peace and justice in the galaxy. In serving the Republic, the Jedi would serve the Supreme Chancellor, typically playing an advisory role and carrying out missions that would further their commitment to peace and justice. An elected position, the Republic's Supreme Chancellor was the leader of the Galactic Senate, the Republic's governing body. It was the senators who comprised the Senate who would vote for the Supreme Chancellor, with the individual receiving the majority of votes, ultimately fulfilling the leadership position. But in serving the Republic, were Jedi able to be elected Supreme Chancellor? And if so, did any Jedi win election and serve in this government position? In this video expose, I will explain whether Jedi could be elected Supreme Chancellor of the Republic and describe the history that ended their ability to fill this position. Not only could Jedi be elected Supreme Chancellor by the senators of the Galactic Senate, but there was a 400-year period where only Jedi were elected to the leadership position of Supreme Chancellor. Between 1400 and 1000 years before the events of A New Hope, the dire and desperate situation that the Republic found itself in caused the Senate to turn to the Jedi Order for assistance, wherein over this 400-year period, only Jedi were elected as Supreme Chancellor. The reason for this drastic reliance on the Jedi to fill the Republic's highest leadership role was the emergence of the Republic Dark Age caused by the conflict between the Republic and Jedi Order and the Sith, known as the New Sith Wars. Starting 600 years prior, roughly 2,000 years before A New Hope, the Republic entered a period of significant decline, as the new Sith Empire besieged and conquered Republic territory. During this period, the Republic was plunged into economic turmoil, as thousands of corporations went bankrupt, resources dried up, and interstellar commerce collapsed. To make matters worse, lawlessness quickly spread across the Republic, as the government and the Jedi became overwhelmed and ineffective. The Republic reached an even lower point after their crushing and decisive defeat at the Battle of Mizra. Not only did the Republic experience massive casualties, including over 500,000 dead to the battle, it lost its control of the Outer Rim territories to the Sith. Further, the Jedi Order devastatingly lost hundreds of Jedi who chose to defect from the Order and join the Sith. Within this alarming environment, wherein the Republic was facing complete collapse and the ascendancy of the Sith, the Galactic Senate granted practically all of its authority to the Supreme Chancellor, and the Jedi were elected to try to bring an end to the new Dark Age, forced to assume a greater leadership role within the Republic government. For the next 4 centuries, only Jedi would be elected to serve as Supreme Chancellor of the Republic. But why did the 400-year Jedi dominance of the Chancellorship come to an abrupt end 1,000 years before A New Hope? And were any Jedi elected Supreme Chancellor in the subsequent elections? Ultimately, the Republic and Jedi were able to prevail and win the New Sith Wars, having emerged victorious in the 7th Battle of Ruusan, primarily through the efforts of Darth Bane and his actions to eradicate the Sith Order to rebuild and strengthen it through his rule of 2. Believing that the Sith were annihilated down to the last man on Ruusan, and not knowing Bane survived, the Republic and Jedi worked to restructure the Jedi Order's role within the galactic government, and their connections to the position of Supreme Chancellor. This restructuring was carried out through a set of reforms known as the Ruusan Reformation. As part of the Ruusan Reformation, the Jedi used their authority to remove themselves from key positions of galactic leadership that they'd acquired over the previous centuries, including the position of Supreme Chancellor, which was placed back into non-Jedi control. Tarsus Valorum of House Valorum became the first non-Jedi Supreme Chancellor in 400 years. Not only did the Jedi dissolve and abandon their military, they placed themselves under the supervision of the Supreme Chancellor and the Judicial Department. This ensured that Jedi could not be elected into the position of Supreme Chancellor in the future. So there we have it, how Jedi came to be elected Supreme Chancellor of the Republic, and the Reformation that put the position back into civilian hands. We love making these videos, so why not subscribe for more fun Star Wars theories and discussions? Also, if you enjoyed the video, think about giving a like or leaving a comment. If not for me, for peace.